So what is this update with Blake Lively's brother-in-law issuing like an apology? I saw this come up, and basically this is an article from USA Today. I've seen it come across a different slew of publishers, but there were some comments he made previously, and now it seems taking them back. Did you see this?
Yes, I did. I guess he was very disparaging towards Justin Baldoni. I believe it was on X.
Why is he changing his tune necessarily, though?
I don't know. That's what people are questioning. Is it because it's not looking good for Blake Lively? Like, people are definitely questioning, why he's suddenly retracting this, considering, he considered he considered Justin Baldoni to be a fraud.
It's the Pop Report.
So juicy.
You rubbing all the negativity out of your corneas?
Yes. Like Lizzo said, shampoo press gets you out of my hair. But I'm getting you out of the crest of my eyes. We're back in studio extra early today.
Girl. Yeah, another week, another dollar, another
day, another drama.
I, the other day, watched Bob the Drag Queen on Z-Way's podcast, and I think I'd like you to give some more feisty Bob the Drag Queen energy if you show up this early in the morning.
You don't think I'm feisty enough?
Not this time. Not at this hour.
We're 30 seconds in. You want me to be feisty? I'll be feisty. I can be feisty.
Eat it. Eat it up, chew it, spit it out like a drag queen.
I will eat you up and spit you out.
That sounds very horny and sexual, so maybe not this hour. Okay. How are you?
We'll give it a couple hours. I'm okay. How are you?
We're here early, so I'm half awake, kind of.
Well, see, I'm normally up pretty early. This is normally when I'm taping No Filter.
Yeah.
So I'm normally boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Let's get it down. Get it on lock. Pop, lock, and drop it.
Yes. We have new boxes for our fun studio. As some have probably seen, we are now a legitimate podcast that still makes no money, and we do this for funsies, as some people would say. But no, we're still somehow getting through this fucking year. It's not even the end of January.
This has been the longest month ever, and I'm glad that we're finally at the end of it and now approaching February. And I'm very excited about this. You know what I got this morning?
Chlamydia.
No, I did not.
Darn. Don't wish that upon anybody.
Well, I don't know. I'll let you know.
You said finally, and I was like, oh, okay.
I received a very lovely package from Melissa Gorga. She sent me her Valentine's Day sprinkle cookies.
Oh, I've seen these.
Well, no, you haven't, because they're the new Valentine's Day sprinkle cookies.
Well, I've seen
the OG sprinkle
okay.
cookies. But she sent me because she wants me to be her Valentine.
This sounds very Tom Cruise cake.
That's what it's like. It's like the Tom Cruise cake, but it's the Melissa Gorga sprinkle cookie. So I figured after this we could do a taste test.
So who else is on this list?
Not you.
You can be feisty.
I don't know who else is on this list.
You can be feistier. Come on, go fucking for
I don't
the jugular.
know who else is on this list.
Try that comment again. Come back at me.
No.
Come at me.
Unlike you, I don't fake my comebacks. They're very organic, and they'll get better as the coffee seeps in.
I thought you were going to go and say fake an orgasm or something, and I was like, try it. But anyway, welcome to the Pop Report. Our fun intros are always chaotic, just like Sabrina Carpenter's intros and outros.
Yeah.
What?
I do like Sabrina Carpenter. We haven't seen her in a minute.
I was going to say, what is she doing? Don't know, but I can tell you a couple
Probably
of things.
Sleeping with somebody's man.
Well, you and her finally have something in common. Well, other than that, welcome to the Pop Report. We have a lot to get into today.
Did we?
Did we? Did we not? We had a few things happen in the studio last episode that we didn't get to obviously put up an episode. So if you're welcoming us to a first time, I can't make words. It's too early. If you're a first time listener, welcome. If you're back, sorry, we were out. But
we're back, and we want you to subscribe and like and review, because we love all of that engagement that you guys are giving us. And we should probably do a couple of shout outs while we're here right now and let people know just how much we appreciate them, because you actually got some love in the comments for once.
That's the energy I need. It's too early for me to not have an attack on my personal character.
There we go. Okay, so let's give a couple of shout outs before we dive in. Chi-Town Nikki says, Zack and Andy crack me up. Great chemistry between these two. The topics and commentary are everything. I need to make me laugh and get through my stressful work days. I'm glad that she gave you an honorary mention.
Oh, finally, fucking someone mentions me, says my name.
Well,
acknowledges
Naomi
me.
Burton says, subscribed because of Zack, but have a sort of a girl crush on Andy and his dreamy voice.
You know, I tried selling a mirror on Facebook Marketplace the other day, and
Because you were
like,
tired of looking at yourself?
absolutely. And girl, like, I forget that there are girls who think I am straight and like want to fall in love with me. The amount of messages that were not about a mirror. Granted, I was in PJs. Even people I know were like, "You don't even look that great," and I was like, "I don't feel I look that great."
Was it one of your thirst traps that you've been posting on Instagram lately?
No, it was not, but I wish it was because that mirror would have definitely sold, and it didn't. But damn, I forget.
Why are you posting photos of yourself to sell a mirror?
How do you take
That
a photo
sounds
of a mirror? How do you take a photo of a mirror without
Being in it?
almost?
I mean, there are ways. I mean, you see photos of mirrors all the time without you having to be. It's about the angle.
Yeah, because you're good at mirror shots, back shots, everything.
Mm.
Well, thank you.
Well, Naomi was very happy about that. And Mrs. Busted Can of Biscuit says Zack is amazeballs. Adore. Look forward to seeing you on YouTube daily. Can't get enough, Zack. Thank you, Mrs. Busted Can of Biscuits.
I love amazeballs. Bring back
It's been a
amazeballs.
minute since we've used amazeballs.
We?
I just
More
mean
like-
culturally in general, we don't say
Got it.
amazeballs as much as we used to.
We don't say a lot of things as much as we used to, and I think bring back bowling is one of them that should be brought back.
What else? What other word should we bring back?
Howdy. Y'all.
No.
Swell.
Y'all hasn't gone away.
Y'all's been
Swell is boring.
eat shit. I say it all the time.
No, you don't. I've never heard you say that.
People ask how I'm doing. I say swell, just like our hot in the headlines, which is
I don't know. Is it going so swell for A$AP Rocky?
is it going so swell for Selena?
Oof. Got to keep an eye out for Celine or...
Maybe I shouldn't have said swell. That wasn't a really good segue.
Yeah, because I don't think things are going swell for either A$AP Rocky or Selena.
What about Rihanna?
Well, I don't know, but people are expecting that she will be making an appearance in court to support A$AP Rocky in his recent civil trial against A$AP Relli, or from A$AP Relli, because A$AP Relli is suing A$AP Rocky. And who would have known that so many people have the name A$AP?
Yeah, because there's a whole ASAP mob.
There's an A$AP mob?
Yeah, there's a whole group.
Was Kesha in the mob? Because they both spell their names with a $sign.
Not to be confused with Ty Dolla Sign. No. So, as people have been keeping up with Court TV, Zachary.
Oh,
Peter
yeah, I was on
has
Court
been-
TV this week.
Yeah, has been making some candid appearances. Not about Erica Jane, not about other people. What kind of Erica Jane is
Kind of Erica Jane.
about this? I think that's all Court TV wants you for is your connection to Erica Jane.
They said that they will have me back to talk about Blake and Baldoni, which I will give everybody an update on at the end of this episode.
Anyway, how is your Court TV? Because I think we do not get up as early as you, and then you get up earlier than your early schedule for Court TV.
Well, yeah, because Court TV is live, and they tape it at 8 a.m. Eastern, which is 5 a.m. our time.
And is that when like the court opens, like for like hearings, or like why is it at 8?
Well, it's opening statement, so it's like the top of the morning show to let you know what's going on in the legal world.
Tight.
So not always when the courts are actively in trial, but just to give people an update of what happened the day before and what's coming ahead. So shout out to Julie Grant. Thank you for having me back on.
So it's not like the stock market.
No.
So back to the juicy stuff.
Mhm.
A$AP Rocky and A$AP Relli. You've learned about the A$AP mob. Cool, we're squared away there.
Got it.
I saw that Rihanna was seen in the courtroom. Now, I don't know if this is, again, needs to be confirmed. A reporter who said she was in the courtroom said that she was there. When you are on Court TV, do you get a look into the courtroom, or do you just get someone coming out of the courtroom giving you updates whenever these are happening?
No, so they have footage from this trial specifically is being filmed and is being broadcast for people to watch. Where some trials, usually the federal trials, like people have been asking, is like the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni trial going to be, displayed or televised the same way the Johnny Depp trial was? And that's unlikely because that's a federal case out of the Southern District of New York.
Love
So
New York.
Different type
same,
of
same,
case.
but different.
Yeah, different type of case. Whereas A$AP Rocky's case is, I believe it's here in California. It was in downtown LA. And you're right. It looks like Rihanna did make a very dramatic court appearance to support boyfriend A$AP Rocky.
Boyfriend? Fiance?
It says boyfriend.
Oh,
According to
that's right.
people.com, it says boyfriend. So you got to get with it.
Did you get a glimpse of her in the courtroom?
No.
She probably, I don't know how that works specifically because there are things that specifically, like, as you say, court TV, like, focuses on or they get shots of.
Yeah.
But the only real evidence we have of her being there is a reporter named Megan Kniff. I think I'm saying that
Oh
correctly.
yeah, she's often at the downtown courthouse covering these trials.
So she posted on X.
Mm-hmm.
So weird for me to say still. So many wild years. Has it been years? She posted basically saying, like, I saw Rihanna in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so a bunch of people picked that up. But I guess unless you're there physically, you're not going to see her in your experience
Well,
of court TV.
it depends on the angle. I mean, I haven't. Again, we're taping this on Thursday, and court TV happened on Tuesday morning. Well, I taped that on Tuesday morning, so I haven't checked in on the trial since then. But I do know that there has been testimony that has been happening all throughout the week. In this case, I don't know. I didn't see Rihanna, but to at least give people an idea of what's going on. So A$AP Rocky and A$AP Relli had some sort of incident back in 2021 where
SparkNotes version, give us the whole thing. You gave us this before, and I loved your little
I know,
rundown.
but that episode didn't record, so we're re-recording it, so I have to redo my recap. A$AP Rocky, A$AP Relli beef, okay?
Tight.
Had some sort of altercation back in 2021, and now A$AP Relli is suing A$AP Rocky in a civil case. So it's not a criminal case, but it's a civil case where he's claiming that A$AP Rocky assaulted him and tried to shoot him. Now, A$AP Rocky's defense is that the gun was a prop gun and that there weren't actual bullets, they were blanks, and he was doing it just to scare A$AP Relli. But A$AP Relli said, hold up, wait a minute, I have scratches on my knuckles. And A$AP Rocky's like, well, I don't know how you got scratches on your knuckles, but I never shot at you because, you know, these were blanks and this wasn't a real gun. And so Erica Jane has now entered the group chat because her son Tommy Zizzo is a sergeant for the Los Angeles Police Department, and he was the first witness that was called in this trial on Monday morning because he was the first to arrive on the scene after this alleged incident. Tommy Zizzo has made it clear that they did not see any shell casings and did not see any evidence of any shooting going on, but A$AP Rocky said that's because he was shooting blanks.
That's a great recap, 50-second SparkNotes version for dummies that I'm obsessed with.
So we will see. I mean, as of right now, it looks like it was a prop gun, so he didn't actually shoot at A$AP Relli, but now we're going to see this kind of play out and see if A$AP Relli can prove his case. I don't think that he will be able to, but we'll see how it plays out. And so everyone's like, oh my God, Erica Jane's son, he's so hot, and look at him, he's out here, you know, in an A$AP Rocky case, and people are like, what, Housewives and rap, and like, how did that come together?
Housewives, rap, and Rihanna, a podcast. Yeah, we talked about this before. He's wanted his privacy. Erica's given him that. And so, like, it is just funny because Erica's like, I'm just here doing my thing. My son's doing his job. Rihanna, also in here, from what I'm seeing while we're also going through this, she's in the gallery. So as far as the live stream, she's not able to be shown a live stream because...
Depends on the angle.
It depends on the angle, and I guess the court is out saying that, like, if you are specifically, in her case, she's in the front bench in the gallery behind the defense table. Specifically, the photographers, what from this thread says, neither can focus on the audience or Rihanna specifically because she is in that audience.
Yeah.
So unless you're there in the courtroom, you're not going to see her reactions. We're not really going to get a lot of, let's say, articles about her. We get a lot of stuff that's always like this other high-profile person in the room looking at reactions.
I mean,
looking
well,
at people.
again, no, it depends on the angle. She probably wasn't sitting in an angle where you were able to capture her, but we've seen in the past, because usually there is going to be a shot on the defendant and the plaintiff, and if they're sitting in the gallery behind them, then you should be able to see them. But it doesn't seem like she was in a clear
She was wearing sunglasses.
Mm.
She was sitting between Rocky's mother and sister. She is listening intently to Relli's testimony, apparently. And she's wearing all black and her hair's down. So, Court TV calls you back. You better know. You're like, she is sitting right there. Let me know. But yeah, let's...
Yeah. We'll see what happens. The trial's ongoing, but, I mean, we should have some sort of... I believe the trial should be ending, or we should have a verdict by next week.
We should.
We shall see.
We want to take a second to acknowledge also, I'm from Washington, D.C. And, like, obviously what just happened is that as of this recording, we're just about 12-ish hours from a American Airlines flight and an American Eagle helicopter colliding, and it's scary. Like sometimes we have news that
Was it American Eagle?
I believe so. It's American Eagle helicopter, which
It was
is
a Black Hawk helicopter, right?
yes, a smaller division. And we cover pop culture, and then there's like all these national headlines that come up, and people obviously pour out their thoughts and feelings. Sometimes it touches on mainstream entertainment. These are pop culture moments that like ink in the history of each year.
Yeah.
We've had so much happen this year already.
I know. It's been a wild year. I mean, the last update that I saw is that they haven't found any survivors. They've been, obviously, trying to find as many victims that were on these planes and in the helicopter as they can. And unfortunately, our hearts do go out to the families and friends of the people that were on these flights, and hopefully we can get some answers and some closure. There are a lot of questions around it.
So many.
The flight path. I've seen, circulations of, the flight path of the helicopter, and there are a lot of questions. Was this intentional? Was this accidental? Was this deliberate? Who was on the flights? Could this be, something that was a target? Was there foreign influence? Was it all domestic? We don't have any answers as of this taping at 10 a.m. on Thursday, but hopefully we'll get some clarity soon.
And it's sad because we do get a lot of articles that do touch on entertainment-related sites or catch-all sites like people.com. So there are a couple reports of people who were supposed to be on that flight and did not end up getting on that flight. So it is always sad. I just want to take a second to acknowledge that because
this is like the Netflix movie. Carry On. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You did?
Yes. I watched
you saw
it.
the movie?
Yeah.
Oh. But it's like that.
Yeah.
They're like, who's on the plane? And they try to target the plane and they do the whole thing. And like,
it's
shit like
scary.
that happens. This is we're now living in a season of scandal. Somebody call Kerry Washington. We need some help. This is a new season of scandal.
I know. Take a breath. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And out. It's hard to transition from like a tough story to like back to like silly bitch
to another
news.
tough story.
Yes. Which one do you want to take on next?
Are we going to talk about Selena?
Okay. We recorded an episode. It didn't obviously come to fruition this week. We had some problems. We talked about Selena Gomez earlier this week, and she went on Instagram crying about a lot of things happening right now in the nation.
Yeah, she said her people are under attack, and she's like, I'm so sorry, and she was crying. She posted this on Instagram stories.
And we talked about this a little bit. There's some new things that have happened this week. To give a small opinion on this, I think her intent was there. I think her impact did not probably land as best with everybody.
What was her intent? That's what I'm confused about. Like, what was she hoping to accomplish by posting this sad crying video from her mansion?
I always love you say, it's a mansion. Everyone has a mansion.
Yeah, it's a multi-million-dollar mansion, and she's sitting there, and rather than trying to provide any solutions or provide a deeper conversation about all of this, like, people are tired of celebrities and their virtue signaling of going on the internet and just professing their opinion about social issues that they just are never going to be able to relate to because they live in a bubble that's so out of touch with reality for most Americans. So I understand the backlash that people are giving her because, yes, you're allowed to have empathy, and yes, you're allowed to have emotions and to be sad about, what you believe the climate of our country to be, but have those conversations with your friends. Like, you don't need to be posting these videos of you crying about a social issue that you cannot relate to from your mansion.
Give your opinion, girl. I think that at some point, people who maybe say like Selena Gomez have had a time where they, before fame, before whatever else maybe, had situations that they could relate to maybe our experiences or other people. I get people who are like, right now, she's in a very different position. I think the part for me that's strange is when I see people crying online, I'm always like, there's a deliberate action. There's a deliberate,
whole thought process.
Whole time when you record something, and let's say halfway through the recording, then you start crying. Sometimes I've seen people trim videos to just say like, I want to show me just crying only. And so, not that I don't believe it, but it just came across as like, this is strange for an everyday user because we don't necessarily do that. We don't necessarily showcase crying just that.
Yeah.
and usually there's some other portion involved.
Yeah.
So I think it just came at a very interesting time to be stumbling upon Instagram stories and then stumble upon someone crying. And Selena responded to some of the comments made about it saying, look, I guess we can't show empathy.
Yeah, she deleted the story and then reposted to her story saying, I guess we're not allowed to show empathy.
And it's, girls, the internet is forever. Girls are going to take screenshots. There were comments for her to be deported on X, strange also. And she responded to that even saying, like, thanks for the laugh and the threat, which everybody's responses in all this. That response that a man also gave to that was bewildering. But, like, I think if Selena Gomez wants to make some sort of change, I think she can really do it. I think she can find a way to mobilize people. We are talking about it. And it has that impact of just that Instagram story alone. But I think she can use the status and maybe the resources she has to bring some really good attention to this and, like, take a stand.
Which she still has not done, mind you.
Go off.
She's not taken a stand. She's not said anything else other than, again, it feels like a very performative virtue signaling video to be like, I'm sad about this. And she doesn't necessarily directly correlate it to, you know, the mass deportations that have been issued by our current administration. But people are kind of connecting those dots when she says, my people are under attack. And I mean, to your point, it did kind of spark conversation. It's gotten people talking. If anything, it made me really want to dive deeper into, okay, well, what is she talking about, right? She doesn't give us any details. She doesn't speak into anything. So I went and I looked into interviews with, you know, the newly appointed border czar, Tom Homan. And I'm like, okay, well, what is actually going on? And, you know, it was just kind of interesting. I was listening to an interview that he was giving where he was sharing some statistics on how, unfortunately, with our previous administration and the immigration policies that were put into place, like, we really did kind of create an issue that we're now having, a mess that we're now having to clean up, which to me, I understand that it's a very messy transition period, but you know, it's just it's not as easy and cut and dry as Selena Gomez wants to go on the internet and post a sad video where she's going to record herself crying and then stop the camera and then deliberately upload that and add a caption to the video. Because again, what else has she done? But if anything, it did encourage me to learn more about, you know, what's going on with immigration in our country and what the protocols are for, you know, trying to course correct and hopefully protect our borders more. So thank you, Selena Gomez. I don't know if that was your intention, but it definitely enlightened me to learn what a immigration crisis we currently have in our country.
And that's called growth.
There you go. I mean, listen, if you would have listened to my rant on Tuesday, I would have ripped her to shreds, but now I'm enlightened.
Well, our other Disney girlies are also making news in our music corner.
Do we have the Joe Bros?
You had to think about it. You're like, do we have the Joe Bros making an appearance? Here's my weird thought of the week.
What is your weird thought of the week? Please share.
If you are the Jonas Brothers, love you, adore you, maybe you don't, whoever you feel you love or don't like from the group, I'm confused why we have an announcement about a Christmas special in January. We just went through Christmas, holiday, Kwanzaa, whatever you call it, Quantico.
Kwanzaa?
It's too early. I am flustered. I don't want to wait 11 months. You should announce this in October or November of 2025.
It'll probably drop in October or November of 2025. And it's why? Because it's probably about to go into production. And since the Joe Bros have so many fans that are like always keeping up to date with what's going on because their fans are pretty die-hard, I'm pretty sure they're trying to get ahead of the story. They're probably going into production now or probably like in March. And so they're letting everybody know that this is coming.
I'm holidayed out. That's all I'm saying, though. I'm like, come and gone, girl.
But also, do we really care about a Jonas Brothers Christmas movie?
Some girls do.
But I feel like those girls should be grown by now. And they're not watching Disney Channel anymore. Mm. Is Disney Channel still around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
What did they have? Sunny with the Chance?
That's the social clip. There you go. Well,
What's on Disney Channel these days? Disney Channel was good when it had the DComs, the Disney Channel original movies. We had Hannah Montana, That's So Raven, Phil of the Future, all of that stuff. Great.
amazing. I cannot tell you a thing that is on
We were
Nick or Disney
cultured.
these days.
Yeah. Blue's Clues.
Still, SpongeBob.
It came back with, I think, Steve. I think he's back too.
You know,
He comes up on my TikTok sometimes.
what is he
He's
doing?
like, "Hi, Steve here," and he talks to us as if
And
it were
he's
Blue's.
gentle.
But yes, but he's like Steve for the adults now, and he talks to you like it's Blue's Clues, but he's like, now we're all adults.
Well, if
So I'm
Steve is
speaking to
for
all
the
kids
adults
that
now,
grow-
I'd like to see him transition like Miley is for the adults too.
Oh, I thought you meant like Caitlyn Jenner.
No. Well, on top of that, Zach and I have been talking about a
Oh.
couple different things that have been coming up in our music news.
Mhm.
And we decided to incorporate a new section of our fun stories called Pause or Play.
Mhm.
And I would like to give it away to Mr. Peter when it comes to the one and only newly released Heidi Montag album.
Yes. So very similar to how we have Watch or Skip, we have decided we're going to do a music edition because Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, Spidey from the iconic MTV The Hills days, they have released a new album, which is a follow-up to Heidi Montag's original album, which dropped back when The Hills was at its height of its popularity. And so now we have Superficial 2 Heidiwood edition.
And you had a term that you wanted to call it. You
What's
said
that?
it should be just called Heidiwood.
Yes, so I don't think that it should have been. Sorry, Spencer. Listen, just take some notes. It should have instead of being Superficial 2 Heidiwood edition, it should have just been Heidiwood as its own thing because they have all the original Superficial songs, and then at the bottom they have all the new songs. And I'm like, these could have just been two separate albums.
Honestly,
I don't know the thought process behind this, and we could have done a whole new cover because the cover is the same photo that she used back in 2008 when the album first dropped,
she looks good.
or sorry, 2010 because it's been 15 years.
But
She
like,
looks good, but it's 15 years ago.
I just think run with Heidiwood. Don't stop. Push it
Yes.
out.
Yes. Okay. These are the songs that you need to listen to on Heidiwood. It's great. It's a great album. I've been listening nonstop for like the past 2 weeks. 'Kay?
Ready? You get 20 seconds per song.
Heidiwood, the bopper, the banger. Okay. This is the top song. This is the song that you can hear on the radio. It features Chase Icon, and it is good. This is the mainstream song. Okay. This should be the next single. Okay. Then we have Prototype.
Oh, you only took 10 seconds for that one. Okay, cool.
Then we have Prototype, and Prototype is the gym song. Ooh, I'm the prototype. I'll keep you up all night. That one's great because it
That's-
talks about her body being the prototype, and everybody wants to be like her. So it's a very body song. So when you're at the gym, you're like, yes, I'm
So
the
it's not your
prototype.
song.
It
Because
is
you
my
do not
song.
give body.
I go to the gym more than you. Okay, and
I go to the job.
I go to the
I like my
job.
suitcase.
Prototype, great. That is your gym song. Honorable mentions, we have Screensaver, Under Your Clothes. Not the biggest fan of Sriracha, but those are fine.
Why not
Under
Sriracha?
Sriracha, it's just it's different. It's kind of funky. Similar to, what was Kesha's song?
Blow.
No, the new one. She just released a new one, and that one was kind of
Oh,
funky.
Joyride.
Joyride. And that one's kind of funky.
Sriracha.
Yeah. So it's kind of got like a joyride funky kind of vibe that's like, okay, for niche Heidi fans, you'll probably enjoy that one. Top. Put me on top.
Who sings
top,
that?
Top. Make your body drop. Heidi.
Let's keep it that way.
Top is a great one, okay? Number 3 in the top 3. Tetris, also great. For our friend Mike, who's a big music aficionado, he said his top song on the album is Tetris. Okay,
And we talked about this before. I think a Heidi Montag and Erica Jane collab just sound really
Yes.
efficient for these lyrics and this musical genius that has been presented to us 15 years later.
yes, if I can have a manifestation for 2025, I need an Erica Jane / Heidi Montag collab. Okay, so top, I would say Tetris is in my top 5, number 5 of the top 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we have Flash. Flash is okay. That's Heidi Montag's favorite song on the album. She posted about it on Instagram. Forgive and Forget. This is the bop. So if you were a fan of The Hills back in the old,
Oh.
2000s, Forgive and Forget, you'll know Lauren Conrad's iconic moment where she told Heidi, I want to forgive you and I want to forget you. Well, this is Heidi Montag's clapback.
Do you think Lauren is going to respond to this song
No.
or like make a subtle post about this song? Do you think Heidi's expecting that?
Lauren cannot be bothered by any of them.
Leave
or
that
any
lady
of this.
alone.
As they said on TikTok, leave that lady alone. She cannot be bothered at all. Lauren Conrad is doing just fine. She's A-okay, and she's like, I would like to be removed from this narrative. So Forgive and Forget. It's a little cheesy, kind of campy, but it's fun and it's all over TikTok.
I love
now.
camp.
I enjoy it.
I love Boy Scouts.
Bad Publicity. No such thing as bad publicity. Listen, there's nobody that knows that better.
I feel like this
than
is your
me.
theme song.
This is my theme song. No such thing as bad publicity. I know how to get the internet lit on fire, and I do it often. So
And you wake up again and do it all over again
and
somehow,
choose
some way.
chaos,
Violence.
always. So Bad Publicity, great song in my top 5. America's Sweetheart. Also great. Controversial choice because not everybody loves it. They think it's a little campy too. But I love America's Sweetheart. She says, I'm never gonna be America's Sweetheart. It's great. Those are my 2 songs, Bad Publicity and America's Sweetheart, because I will never be America's Sweetheart, and Bad Publicity is something I'm good at.
If you could send a message to Heidi and Spencer about the new album to camera, what would you say about the new album?
You should come on the Pop Report to come and promote the new album, and you need to do a new single with Erica Jane. But Heidiwood, the song, that needs to be your new single. We need a music video for it. You need it playing on the stream, on the radio.
The
even though nobody
radios.
listens to the radio, but I will make sure we stream it. I will stream it I do stream it every day, actually.
Okay, so if you're counting up the majority of the streams when it comes to this song, you think you are 76% of those streams just yourself?
Probably. Probably. I mean, I was listening to it on the way over.
I love that. Well, thank you for your official review. Out of 10 on a Zachary Peter scale rating, how are you giving it?
9.
A 9.
9.
What could it have done to get to a solid 10 out of 10?
The only reason I don't give it a 10 is because I don't think we needed all the original superficial songs on this album. Like, it should have been its own album, and it should have had its own killer cover. That's my only critique.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Picking up into some stories, I want to get into a fun little other segment I've introduced, and I will get to it in a minute. It's going to be called Guess the Comment, and you're going to guess the popular headline that this comment was left on for a story on People magazine.
Okay.
But before then, I wanted to touch on some of our general news and come back to this little fun section to get you prepared and inked and ready.
Okay.
Did you
Ink me
see about Brandi Glanville? I know you are a very big
And
fan.
her fucked up face.
Stop. Brandi is going under for it seems 4 biopsies by. Have you seen this? The Botched star guy.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Terry Dubrow.
Did you already know about this?
Well, so first of all, when I say her fucked up face, that's basically what she's saying. So she says that.
So this is a direct quote from her.
No, yeah,
Oh.
I'm paraphrasing. Paraphrasing with my own little sliver of commentary. So something happened to her face.
Right.
And she now claims that she has a parasite that might be living in her face. And she says that there's this thing that like moves around in her face. She like
Every time you bring up
dissolved
the
all her
story, you
filler.
do this little motion.
Because that's how she describes it. She says that there's literally something that moves around in her face and it goes from side to side. And sometimes her face is really swollen and puffy. And then sometimes her face is like really sunken in. But when it's sunken in, she can see the little thing moving. And so she thinks that it may be a parasite. She doesn't know what it is. They've been trying to fix it. And so Dr. Terry Dubrow from Botched, who's also married to Real Housewife of Orange County, Heather Dubrow, who we met at the GLAAD Awards last year.
Absolutely.
He offered, and he's like, listen, Brandi, you need to get that fixed ASAP. Let me cut the worm out of you. That's not what he's saying. I'm paraphrasing. But he said, I will fix your face. Because her face, she's trying to say Bravo did this to me because of the whole scandal with the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco trip, that season has been scrapped because Caroline Manzo is trying to sue the network over, some alleged harassment from Brandi Glanville. And Brandi says because of the stress of all of that, this caused her body to flare up in this way, and she may have possibly gotten a parasite because she was in Morocco and maybe she caught it there. She doesn't know what's going on with her face, but something's going on. And so Terry Dubrow said, hey, Brandi, he was talking to TMZ because he conveniently, ran into them walking out of his office in Orange County. And he was like, listen, tell Brandi to come in and I will fix her face for her. So I believe now the update is that he's doing biopsies to figure out what's going on with her face. That way it can get fixed ASAP.
Do you think that Terry is going to help Brandi's situation, or do you think that something is going to come out of this that's unfortunate?
I'm hoping that he can help fix her face because it's looking rough.
My God, Zachary.
She said it.
You paraphrased it.
She's acknowledged it, and she's like, I just want them to fix my face.
Damn, I feel for her.
Yeah. She's like, I can't even do OnlyFans. I can't even do my podcast. And I was like, well, that's a stretch. Why can't you do your podcast? And she says it's because she's depressed because she doesn't even want to look at herself in the mirror.
Well, podcasts are
audio only.
Not these days. It's video too.
I wonder who started that trend.
Not you. Anyway, I want to get back to our fun segment.
Okay.
Okay, so here is a comment that was left on People magazine, and I want you to guess what the title is of this story or what this is about. Rennie says, I'm so sick of hearing about them. Who do you think this is about?
Brandi Glanville's face.
No.
The Joe Bros.
No. You get one more. Actually, I'll give you two more guesses because this is kind of, it could be anybody.
The Kardashians.
Oh, you really tried there. You get one more guess.
Well, people are tired of hearing about the Kardashians. Well, I mean, the only story that everybody's talking about is Blake and Baldoni. Is it about Blake Lively?
It is not. This is a comment left on a story about Andy Cohen apologizing to Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt.
Really?
Yeah. I was surprised to see this. But this person said, I'm so sick of hearing about them in regards to Heidi and Spencer.
Spidey. Got it. They're tired of hearing about Spidey, not Andy. Got it.
Which I'm like, really? Girl, leave some kindness. Their house burnt down. Leave that lady alone.
Yeah, they lost everything.
Yeah. So this story, also in our general news, Andy Cohen is apologizing to Spencer and Heidi over his past comments. Okay. Have you been keeping up with this?
Yes. So apparently, like way back in the day, Heidi and Spencer said that, or I think she posted on X, formerly Twitter at the time she posted this, it was on Twitter, that she and Spencer were in talks with producers about possibly joining the Real Housewives. And Andy Cohen went on Watch What Happens Live, and he called Heidi Montag Jackhole of the Week, saying that it's not true, and he would rather scratch his eyes out than see that trash on television, on his television screen. And so Spencer Pratt was asked recently by the Bravo Babe on X if he would ever go into the clubhouse now that he and Heidi have this newly resurged
success,
popularity. And he said absolutely not. He called my wife trash and said that he would rather scratch his eyes out. So he doesn't want to go
almost word for word.
Yeah. And which is, so Spencer said that. And so I guess the Bravo Babe then went and dug up a clip of Andy Cohen on Radio Andy from a couple years ago where Andy, I guess, apparently apologizes for what he said. He didn't remember what he said on Watch What Happens Live, but he apologized.
I saw that. Yeah, he was like, I don't remember what was said. Can someone pull up that clip? Like, I don't know why they don't like me.
It was pretty ruthless.
Yeah, and he's saying, look, like, I say some pretty off the cuff things, and like, you know, I think he said it was a different time, and it was like a different situation.
I still say shit like that.
He said, Montag and Pratt are so identified, not only with another show but with another network. I apologize, so I will say it. I will also say it was. Start the quote over. Quote, I apologize. So what I will say also is that was mean. That was 14 years ago, and what I don't like about it is referring to her as trash. He went on to add, I don't like that at all, and I'm really sorry about that. So I apologize again, I guess.
I guess.
It's hard to read quotes like word for word sometimes in the mannerisms that people say things. The I guess part was the part okay, you're doing well, and then you fumbled a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. To me, watching that clip back, because yes, it was,
14
over a decade ago.
He said it was, quote, a different universe, but he's not trying to justify it. Quote, I paraphrase.
But it was also just not him. Like that's like a Joan Rivers type of jab. And like, listen, if you're gonna take the jab, at least stand by it. Don't be a pussy now and be like, oh, sorry, I didn't. It was a different time. That like, you know, at least own it and be like, listen, I said it. I didn't like it. They were very polarizing people back in the day. If that offended them, I apologize. But it is what it is. You know, he doesn't like Spencer and Heidi. But Spencer did say, listen, if he wants to have an off-camera conversation with me, I'm happy to do so and seemingly accept an apology from Andy Cohen personally rather than on his radio show.
Well, okay.
What do we got next?
Well,
hit me with your best shot.
Pat Benatar is in our news cycle. No, she is not.
Hit me with your fat cock. Have you
Who's-
seen that TikTok trend?
Yeah, why bring it up?
You're right. You don't have a fat cock. I retract.
Okay, cool. Glad to be seen and heard.
Thank you.
Our other piece of general news, we talked about this before. Martha Stewart was supposed to host SNL.
Yes.
Her parole officer said no.
Bitch.
I think
Her words, not mine.
she would be iconic to host SNL. If she hosted SNL today,
Maybe people would watch it.
do you think, or who do you think would be her musical guest if Snoop Dogg was not the one?
Okay, well, you took away my answer because my original answer was Snoop Dogg. Jonas Brothers.
Are you
To
serious?
promote their holiday movie. No, it should be Heidi Montag. Fuck that.
Do you think Heidi and Martha would be a good combo together?
Why not? Martha's a little spicy now.
Now?
Yeah.
I think she's always been.
No, she was a little vanilla before prison.
Her and before prison,
Mm-hmm.
her and Charlie have been doing great on the Uber Eats ads.
I
I
want
think,
Charlie XCX to go on with
I
Martha
didn't say
Stewart.
I want her, but like I love her. But I don't know, like
Who would you choose?
I feel like Sabrina Carpenter and
Mm.
Martha would get along very well for some reason, and they'd bring up some campy realness. So if you are
That would be
producers of
fun.
SNL, I think they'd be a kind of fun, whimsical.
I still vote for
Time.
Snoop Dogg.
I mean, I would love to see Snoop Dogg too.
Good nostalgia. Throw it back. Martha and Snoop have the vibe. Them doing it together would be fun. Everybody would get a contact high watching that show.
You know, one time I went to a BeautyCon event, throwback me even saying that, and I remember Snoop Dogg was supposed to perform.
Mm-hmm.
And
At a BeautyCon event?
absolutely. It was in Hollywood, and we're on a rooftop, and there was a DJ booth being set up, and I was like, I have a feeling something's being set up over there.
Mm.
So me and my little group of girls,
Mm.
we decided to go towards the little station. And all of a sudden, Snoop Dogg comes out, and people start gathering around me at the front. And I'm sitting up front while Snoop Dogg is smoking a blunt in front of me.
Mm.
And my friend, next thing I know, he goes, I got past Snoop Dogg's blunt, so I hit it. And I was like, work. Like, work.
Is Snoop Dogg in your ideal rotation? Isn't that a trend right now? Like, who they would be my ideal blunt rotation?
In my blunt rotation?
Yeah.
Who is in my ideal blunt rotation? Martha
Charlie
Stewart.
XCX.
Martha Stewart.
Okay.
Um,
Chaperone.
Rachel Sennett.
Who's that?
Are you kidding? Bottoms. She also hosted the Oscars announcements with Bowen Yang. Anyway.
Sure.
Okay, get cultured. Get cultured, girl.
I am cultured.
Sure. Heidi Montag would be kind of fun. It'd be my blunt rotation.
Okay.
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. It's kind of hard to think. Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston?
I'd love to fuck around and find out with her.
See, that would be fun to have Jennifer Aniston and Barack Obama in the blunt rotation, and then I could just grill them on their alleged affair.
Oh, not you. Everyone on Instagram was like, I'm gonna unfollow. Don't make me unfollow you for this. This is a reach.
I didn't make the reach. The reach was out there.
The reach
It was on the
out.
cover of In Touch, right? Or Us Weekly. It was on one of them.
Oh, it's because that's what you're not in touch.
Clearly, I'm very out of touch, and I own it.
Well, I think that puts our general news to rest for like a hot minute. For our watcher skip, I just want to briefly touch on a couple of things that are happening for Netflix because they just announced their 2025 slate. So it's going to be a quickie, and then we'll get into some Blake and Baldoni updates.
Okay.
So Netflix just unveiled their 2025 film slate. What does that
Mhm.
mean? It means every title coming to Netflix in the movie roster for the year.
Got it.
While they also said, here it is. But I'm gonna read you out a few titles that are coming based on the timing of the year.
Okay.
So for winter of 2025, which is now,
Mhm.
anyway, we have Kind of Pregnant with Amy Schumer. We have The Witcher: Sirens of the Deep, which will be on February 11th. And then we also have La Dolce Villa, which is a romantic comedy with Scott Foley. In spring, come spring, I didn't know a couple of these were being worked on. We have Plankton the movie, which I didn't know SpongeBob was also
Oh.
a Netflix thing that we're allowed to put on there. That's going to be there March 7th. We have the Electric State,
Interesting.
which is led by Millie Bobby Brown and Guardians of the Galaxy's
Oh.
Chris Pratt.
Oh, that sounds like a good cast.
Right, two interesting pairings I didn't think were going to be together. It's an alternate universe of the 90s orphaned teenager who ventures across the American West with a cartoon-inspired robot, a smuggler, and his sidekick in the search of her younger brother. We also have the titles The Life List and Nonas. Also, we have Havoc, which is from Tom Hardy. Interesting. So that's our spring slate. Summer, we have Fear Street, which iconic series. I think it was fun. Our studio timer's like, hey girl. The Old Guard 2, and we have Frankenstein in the Fall, Rip, J. Kelly, and more. But of this list, am only really excited for Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, which we're getting later this
yes,
year.
I love the Knives Out movies. They're always really good.
Yeah, so we have quite a few, and I'm like, this list is long. It is deep, but
That's how you like it.
long and deep. What about short and stout?
Was that the throw to me to pick up Justin and Blake?
Oh. I guess I'll say
Or well, I don't know. Were there any other exciting Netflix shows or films that you were excited to? When is Stranger Things coming out? That's what I want to know. Where is the final season of Stranger Things? That was not on the list. I'm still very disappointed because I'm waiting and waiting and waiting.
well.
October and November.
Thank you, studio.
October, November. That wasn't on your list, Andy.
I didn't get to everything in here.
Well, it was a very long list.
Some things are long, some things are longer, but it's we got Happy Gilmore on this list. Is that not good enough for you?
That's coming out on Netflix?
Happy Gilmore 2.
On Netflix? I didn't realize that was the direct to streaming. That's like Blake Lively's new movie, A Simple Favor 2. That's going to be a direct to Amazon Prime streaming.
I thought that was shelved.
No.
Is it really still happening?
They already filmed it. It's in post-production. It's coming out this year on Amazon Prime.
I thought they shelved A Simple Favor 2 because of everything going on, and it screened really
No.
well.
He said that they did it, or the director came out and said, no, it didn't. It has not been shelved. We don't have an official release date. It's supposed to be released in 2025. So maybe that's where the confusion is we don't have an official release date, but it's supposed to come out this year. But like maybe they are kind of pausing it until some of this drama dies down because Blake's not going to be able to promote the film. But also, is anybody really going to watch it on Amazon Prime? Does anybody really watch shows on Amazon Prime?
Okay, I just watched the new Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell movie, You're Cordially Invited, and it's rated R, and seeing Reese Witherspoon rated R honestly kind of slaps.
On Amazon Prime?
They did a screening
Oh,
at the Grove
interesting.
where Taylor Swift also premiered her movie.
It was good?
I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was a good background. Okay, that was fun. That was cute.
Okay.
So anyway,
Isn't she also doing Elle?
yes, Elle is a
coming
series
out on
that's
Amazon
coming.
Prime too, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
she's
Listen,
booked and busy.
Reese Witherspoon might actually save Amazon Prime, or at least the streaming of it. And then we have the morning show supposed to be coming back soon too. When is that dropping?
Girl, don't know. Anyway, it's a lot
What
of
do
things,
you
a lot of
know?
things to watch or skip, but I don't even want to give my opinion because there's too many titles.
Yeah.
So,
Now
That
can
being
I
said.
talk about Blake and Baldoni?
okay, so I feel like a lot of this episode is a recap about the case
Mm-hmm.
that is now. Why do we have a date for Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively on the March 6th of 2026?
See, I actually think that's sooner than we were expecting. It's so funny because everybody's like, what? That's so far away. Because now everybody thinks that there's some sort of like Blake and Baldoni legal expert. But listen, some of us have been doing this since we were blonde.
Okay, Candace,
Some of
I-
us got our... I have beef
let
with
me-
Candace right now.
Let
Don't
me
start
have my
with that.
moment. We had a Gwyneth Paltrow trial like that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
That
we
was
did.
years.
I mean, as soon
That
as
took years from when the incident happened to the filing happened to the trial happened. Look at like the Tom and Rachel Leviss and Ariana Madix lawsuit. That was
You're
filed
true.
in March of 2024 is when it was filed. And we don't have a trial set until November 2025. So that's almost 2 years after the initial filing. So I wasn't expecting this trial to happen for at least another year, but I'm assuming, for whatever reason, they were able to kind of expedite it. To be fair, Tom and Rachel and Ariana's lawsuit is in California, whereas Blake Lively and Baldoni's lawsuit is going to be a federal case out of New York.
I misspoke also. The trial for Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is March 9th, 2026. I just want to be done, just like the comments have said online. I'm tired of hearing about it. And there's some people who are like, I'm not tired. I'm like, I see both, but I'm like, why do we have to wait so long?
It's actually not that long in comparison to other trials that we've seen play out, but
I just have to hear about this for another year.
probably, unless they settle, and I'm predicting that they may likely settle. So we have Justin Baldoni's side that is dropping evidence every other day. Voice notes,
Screenshots.
videos, screenshots of text messages. Like, he's really doing receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything.
He's doing the
right?
Heather Gay model.
He's dropping it all. His attorney, Brian Friedman, has made it very clear. Side note, we have to book Brian Friedman on the podcast, but that was a reminder. But Brian Friedman has said that they want to release all of the text messages. They want to put up a whole website. They have nothing to hide. They have all the raw footage,
website?
a website so that people can read all of the correspondence. So they have nothing to hide. They want to release all of the footage,
But-
all of the raw audio, all of the text messages. They want to put it all out there.
How
Whereas
can you put up a website if you have a gag order though?
there is no gag order.
I thought that
Blake Lively has made 3 attempts now to put a gag order on, but a judge has to approve that, which has not happened yet. We will see if the gag order gets stuck. So that is the opposite of this.
the gag gets stuck. You think about it.
It's the opposite, whereas Baldoni's side wants to throw it all out there, but Blake and Ryan don't want to put it all out there. They want to issue a gag order so that evidence doesn't continue to get released. They also want to make sure that the way that this lawsuit was filed was a federal case in New York, which means we likely won't have it televised like the Depp and Heard trial. So it seems like they want to control the narrative by not letting all the details out, but yet here we are.
Do you think that the trial of Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively not being televised is better for the case, or do you think it's harmful?
So them not putting any of the information out there makes it challenging because, or at least not televising it does make it challenging because it means that, in my opinion, it seems like Blake wants to control the narrative by controlling what details get out to the public, right? And so I think that definitely hinders the transparency of it, especially considering Blake Lively worked with the New York Times to get this story out there. She took a CRD complaint that was filed in California and that was supposed to be a confidential filing, and she seemingly gave it to the New York Times to run this story where they published all of the text messages and correspondence that was revealed in her original CRD complaint. So when that's how you start the game is by doing a New York Times expose, then you can't then expect the other side to then abide by a gag order just because you don't like the information that they're revealing. So I think that could it help the case? It would prevent the public from being able to really watch this all play out. So I think it helps her reputation because I think if this airs very similar to Amber Heard, her reputation took a big hit and she was memed all over the internet. Which I just learned that they call her Amber Turd because she turded on Johnny Depp's bed.
Girl, I saw that.
Did you know that?
Yes, girl.
I just thought it was like a funny nickname that people gave her, and I was like, "Oh, that's so funny. What a coincidence! They call her Amber Turd." And then yesterday, I was like, "Oh, it's because she turded on the bed."
Well, I think when it comes to a lot of these trials, like when you have someone, I guess, on camera, when you have someone who is an actor, we've seen it with serial killers, we've seen it with again, not the best comparison across the board, but when things are televised, people have this chivalrous nature and they shift their tone because they know the public is going to judge their every move. And so they're very cautious. And other times you look at when you have your client take the stand or appear to try and make themselves better, usually it does not favor
I would
well.
love to see Blake Lively on the stand. I would love to see them grill her about this, because she claims in her lawsuit when, she's trying to seek damages for this, she claims that this terrorized her and her family. Her children were terrorized as a result of all of this. That it's traumatizing for her.
It just seems like a better move on any attorney to safeguard their client, no matter who it is, Baldoni or Lively, from a visible public display. We will probably get some sort of reporters in the courtroom like we have been getting for this A AP Relli, A$AP Rocky trial. But to put this publicly like a Gwyneth Paltrow, very bad. Gwyneth Paltrow, she pretty much had a solid case going in. So to have that,
her case
different.
Was very clear. She was going to win that from the jump. There was no way she was going to lose that case.
And there would not be an I wish you well at the end of that case.
Well, we don't know if that's what she actually said. We're just assuming. I think she went into his ear and she whispered, XOXO, Gossip Girl.
Well,
but listen, we have the trial set for March 9th, 2026. People are now speculating whether or not Taylor Swift will be dragged into it because now there's this new post that was apparently published on Reddit 6 months ago, which was prior to the filing, where somebody went online and shared all of these insider details from the set of It Ends With Us, where they claim Blake Lively was threatening that if she didn't get control over the film, she was going to leak this sexual harassment case to the New York Times, which is ultimately what we saw play out in December. And so this was published 6 months ago, so January, December, November, October, September, August. So this was around the time that the film was premiering. So interesting. We'll see how this plays out, but people are expecting that Taylor Swift may be dragged in because in this Reddit thread, there are 2 allegations that are directly related to Taylor Swift. One claiming that Taylor Swift, as we saw in Baldoni's lawsuit, the original music composer was fired.
Right.
And in his lawsuit, he's claiming that it was at the hand of Blake Lively. But according to this Reddit thread, it was actually because Taylor Swift gave them an ultimatum and said, if you don't fire that composer, I'm not going to give you permission to use my song, which is My Tears Ricochet, which ended up becoming the anthem for the film. And then also apparently, because we knew that there was an overturn of editors when it came to putting together the final edit with Baldoni and with Blake Lively, and she was firing and hiring people. Apparently her original edit, she had Taylor Swift's music video editors put the original cut together. And apparently it was so bad because she did a private screening with some of their A-list friends. I believe Bradley Cooper was one of the alleged, and Ben Affleck were people that were allegedly at their apartment for this friends and family screening that she hosted at her New York City apartment. The penthouse that she had a lot of meetings with Baldoni at. Apparently they did like a screening where she wanted to show them the film, and apparently people are like, this film is really confusing and it doesn't make any sense. And obviously it's because it was apparently used with Taylor Swift's music video editors, so that's why she fired that crew and hired a whole new crew that had experience editing film productions.
So what is this update with Blake Lively's brother-in-law issuing like an apology? I saw this come up, and basically this is an article from USA Today. I've seen it come across a different slew of publishers, but there were some comments he made previously, and now it seems taking them back. Did you see this?
Yes, I did. I guess he was very disparaging towards Justin Baldoni. I believe it was on X.
Why is he changing his tune necessarily, though?
I don't know. That's what people are questioning. Is it because it's not looking good for Blake Lively? Like, people are definitely questioning, why he's suddenly retracting this, considering, he considered he considered Justin Baldoni to be a fraud originally. And so he went pretty hard at Baldoni, and there's just been this sudden shift in tone towards Baldoni, and people are saying, is it because it's obvious that Baldoni's probably not the one lying, and it's more likely that Blake Lively is the one that's exaggerating these details?
Yeah, so Bart Johnson deleted his post on December 23rd calling Baldoni a fraud with a man bun. And so he went on to post something on January 28th saying, quote, anytime I've said anything unkind about someone, I've regretted it. This is not necessarily naming anybody, but people can put the pieces together. Says, fortunately, it's almost never and definitely not when I'm at my best. Regardless if it's true or not, if it's my opinion, even if I'm trying to speak truth or stand up for someone, it's never good. Everyone is like, okay, this is strange. Like, to have your own brother-in-law take back comments means that there's something fishy under the surface.
This was his original state. In his now deleted X post, he wrote, he is, in referring to Justin Baldoni, Bart Johnson wrote, he is a fraud. He puts on a costume of a hero, man bun at all, used all of the trendy catchphrases and buzzwords for his podcast. None of it's genuine. It's all theater, and everyone fell for it for years. Rewatch his videos with the more critical eye and watch him compliment and praise himself with faux humility and self-deprecation. What a performance.
This is quite the performance from everybody, I feel like. I don't know. I bated breath every day. That comment earlier, I'm so tired of hearing about them. I feel like it's applied to this story, but no, it's about other people.
And he's now tweeted, or posted on X, my late father taught us kids we only have 2 jobs in life. 1, ask for forgiveness. 2, forgive others. I've always been thinking about this my entire life. Amazing words of wisdom. And he posted a quote from Buddha. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Okay, for somebody that was calling Justin Baldoni faux and performative, what a fucking loser.
Oh my God, you love saying that in studio.
That's my new word.
What
I'm bringing it back from the 2000s.
What a fucking loser.
Not fucking loser, just loser.
No, there's always a fucking in front of it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's our episode.
Yeah.
Wow, we covered quite a lot of ground.
We did.
What's coming up for you? What's coming up for the podcast? What's coming up for life? As I clutch my pearls with my little iPad.
Life is life-in. I'm excited to try my Melissa Gorga sprinkle cookies for Valentine's Day.
I will also be trying them with you.
So yeah, I mean nothing crazy. Just taping no filter every day, having fun, living life, given all the Blake and Baldoni drama.
Oh my God.
What
Well,
about
obviously,
you? What's going on in your life?
I mean,
Anything fun on the horizon?
I'm so tired of this damn hard 75 challenge. I want to I want to drink. Some days when it's hard, I'm like, oh, I'd kill for a martini.
I miss a martini.
I miss a lot of things. But you know what? I think I cracked last night when I was like, I have a quarterly crisis. And the quarterly crisis came during the 75 hard. And I was like, everything is hard. I want to sleep. I'm tired. I wish I had more money. And I was like, this challenge is breaking me on top of what already in life is breaking me.
Well, you're doing amazing.
You're doing great,
we're
sweetie.
We're what, 30?
25 days.
Yeah, so we're 25.
We're 33% of the way.
Yeah.
Aren't
More
I good
than
at math?
25%. That's good.
I'm good at math because I'm Indian.
I'm not good at math.
Because you're
Mexican.
Nope, that's different.
The only thing we're good at adding is children to the offspring.
Okay, well, on that note, thank you for subscribing to the Pop Report. If you have not, you should do it. Zach, what do you leave them with?
Subscribe, like, review, drop a comment. Let us know how much you think I look great today.
That's going to be a 2 out of 10 on the rate.
And shout out to my people, Selena Gomez.
All right, we'll see you all real soon.
Bye.
Well, oh my God, you made it this far in the episode. First of all, thank you so much. Second of all,
subscribe.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button.
Wherever you are, just do the damn thing.
Yeah, I don't care if you're on the bus, if you're on a Tinder date. Just hit the subscribe button right now. Show us some love. That way the next episode is fresh in your inbox.
And we'll see you soon.